and great cultivation sect known as the Qingming Sword Sect. Every millennium, the Qingming Sword Sect would produce a batch of old monster cultivators at the soul formation, integration, or even tribulation transcendent stages. More than 3,000 years ago, a sect master had even broken through the heavenly tribulation and ascended to immortality in broad daylight. For millennia, despite facing numerous calamities, it has stood tall, its legacy enduring to this day. And this year marked the Qingming Sword Sect's disciple selection, held once every 20 years. Disciples selected from various nations had completed their preliminary trials today. Tens of thousands of candidates formed a long queue, creating a sea of people. Someone spoke up, "I'm already at the 3rd level of the Qi refining stage. What about you, uncle?" "I'm at the 4th level." "Hey, uncle, you're already 60. If you can't break through to the nascent soul stage in the next 40 years, you should just go home and raise pigs." That evening, the newly initiated disciples were arranged to rest on the mountainside. At the entrance of the Qingming Sword Sect, a voice was heard. "Junior brother, I think your biggest life concern is about to be solved." 2 disciples of the Qingming Sword Sect were on patrol. The junior brother asked, "Why is that?" "You idiot." The senior brother immediately thought of all the radiant young ladies and said, "Just look at all these beautiful girls joining the sect. With a little luck, I'm afraid quite a few junior sisters are destined to be with you." The lecherous-looking senior brother blushed as he spoke, but his junior brother pointed at the sky in terror. "Senior brother, you," he yelled, "look up at the sky." Seeing his junior brother's panic, the senior brother also looked up confused. He then gazed at the sky and saw it being gradually shrouded by dark clouds. "What is that thing?" Thunder and lightning roared within the dark clouds. A booming voice echoed from the thunderclouds. "Old man Qingming, I have come for revenge." The moment the words fell, a massive pillar of lightning struck down, but it was blocked by the Qingming Sword Sect's mountain guarding grand formation. The impact created a violent aftershock, causing the 2 disciples to lose their footing and fall to the ground. "What the hell is that thing? It's attacking the mountain guarding grand formation with lightning," the senior brother immediately ordered. "I'll report to the sect master. You go ring the bell." With that, the 2 sped off in different directions. In the new disciples' dormitory area, Qingming Sword Sect disciples were flying about in the sky, causing the newcomers to panic. "What's happening? Why are the seniors in such a panic?" "Look, thunderclouds in the sky." The new disciples ran around in a panic, and one girl even took the opportunity to jump into her beloved's arms and hold him tight. "Is this really my first day in the sect? Is my path to immortality going to end here?" A bald-headed man cursed. "What nonsense, the seniors will come to save us." At that moment the disciple had already rushed to the great bell at an astonishing speed. Without hesitation he slammed his fist into it with all his might. The bell chimed loudly, echoing in all directions. The demonic beast in the sky felt it and turned its attention. It summoned another pillar of lightning. Again, this time the pillar of lightning was as thick as a palace column. It crashed down, causing a massive explosion that shattered even the mountain peak at the center of the formation. At the same time, the protective barrier shattered into pieces. The new disciples screamed in terror. "Look, the 1,000-year-old mountain guarding grand formation has been broken. The sect gate and the nearby mountain peak have been destroyed." A Qingming Sword Sect disciple flew over to reassure them. "New disciples, do not panic. Follow me to safety." The crowd below was crying, "What, mommy?" Suddenly a beam of light shot out from a mountain peak at high speed. The person was moving so fast that only a streak of light could be seen as they headed straight for the pillar of lightning that was striking down like a giant claw. The person held a longsword and with a single swing shattered the lightning that had taken the form of a giant claw, then shouted, "What fiend dares to run wild in my Qingming Sword Sect?" The monster opened its great maw and let out a terrifying roar. It resembled a black fox demon and spoke, "Ignorant junior, you dare call me the Thunder Devil Venerate, a fiend? Fine. Today I am here to settle a score with old ancestor Qingming. Tell him to get his ass out here." So this was the Thunder Devil Venerate. Looking at the monster, the sword cultivator thought to himself, "This demonic beast took my attack head-on and is unharmed." Just as the records described 300 years ago, the founder sealed a thunder beast. This person was none other than the sect master of the Qingming Sword Sect, Zhu Yunzi. He spoke, "Ancestral Master Qingming ascended to immortality 3,000 years ago. If you wish to find him, you should go to the immortal realm, not cause trouble here at my Qingming Sword Sect." Hearing this, the Thunder Devil Venerate roared with laughter. "Ha ha ha, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. That fellow old ancestor Qingming actually managed to ascend. HMPH, fine, you are his disciples and grand disciples. Today I will first annihilate everyone on this mountain, then ascend to the immortal realm to seek my revenge." Seeing the situation, a disciple cried out anxiously. "Sect Master," Zhu Yunzi immediately commanded, "go to 7-Star Peak and request Ancestor Uncle to come and provide support." The disciple acknowledged the order and flew off. Zhu Yunzi was now drenched in sweat, thinking to himself, "This thunder beast possesses the bloodline of an immortal beast, making it equivalent to a Mahayana stage cultivator. After falling to the demonic path, its power has surged, likely reaching the level of a celestial immortal. Although I am at the integration stage, I am no match for this demonic beast, and the Supreme Elders are in death seclusion. If they are disturbed, they might suffer a backlash of their true essence and be severely injured. Even if they came out, they would be of no help. For now, I can only hold it off for a while." In this world of cultivation, there were 9 known cultivation realms: body refining, Qi refining, foundation establishment, golden core, nascent soul, soul division, integration, tribulation transcendence, and Mahayana. So Zhu Yunzi shouted, "If you want to trample my Qingming sword sect, then let me, Zhu Yunzi, experience the peerless cultivation of Senior Thunder Devil." The Thunder Devil immediately responded, "Come and fight, Ant." As soon as the words were spoken, Zhu Yunzi charged forward and slashed with his sword, but was blocked by a thunderball condensed in the Thunder Devil's hand. The collision created an explosion that lit up the entire night sky. The disciple who had received the order had also arrived at 7-star peak at top speed. As he dove down, he thought, "The situation is urgent, I can't worry about etiquette." Immediately he knelt on one knee and shouted, "The Qingming sword sect is under attack. The sect master has sent this disciple to implore Ancestor Uncle to come out and save us." A response came from within. "I know." The stone door quickly opened and the disciple broke into a cold sweat upon seeing the person who walked out. It was a man with waist-length white hair, dressed in white robes. He spoke, "No need to panic. Where is Zhu Yunzi now?" This man was none other than the disciple of old ancestor Qingming Bai Choran. The disciple immediately replied, "The sect master is battling the monster at the sect gate." As he spoke, he thought, "I wonder what this ancestor uncle's strength is like." Bai Choran walked closer and said, "Oh, I see." The Foundation Establishment stage disciple then took a closer look. Not a shred of true essence. Qi refining stage. He's only at the Qi refining stage. What the hell? At this moment the disciple felt that they were doomed. This was a level that even the little brats down the mountain could reach. Given the Thunder Devil venerates power, forget a Qi refining cultivator. Even a nascent soul old monster would just be cannon fodder for it. Thinking this, he couldn't help but blurt out, "It's over. Tonight will be the death anniversary of the Qingming sword sect." Yet he saw Bai Choran still walking with his head held high, which greatly confused him. "Ancestor Uncle, Bai Choran didn't speak. He immediately bent his knees and crouched down, preparing to gather power. The disciple was completely bewildered. The next moment Bai Choran launched himself like a rocket, the powerful force of his takeoff cracking the ground around him. In the blink of an eye, Bai Choran became a speck of light and vanished, leaving the disciple dumbfounded. Holy shit, what was that? Meanwhile, the fierce battle between the Thunder Devil and Zhu Yunzi continued. Their lightning and attacks constantly collided, creating dazzling explosions. The disciples below looked up at the sky, which was exploding like fireworks, and shouted, "Go, Sect Master." At that moment, the Thunder Devil unleashed a move, Heavenly Dipper Lightning Tide. Zhu Yunzi, drenched in sweat and gritting his teeth, struggled to block it. Then, with a loud boom, Zhu Yunzi was sent flying, crashing heavily onto the ground in front of the disciples. "Ah, it's the Sect Master." Everyone was horrified. "The Sect Master has been defeated. Mommy, I want to go home. I'm really not cut out for cultivation." From the dust and smoke, Zhu Yunzi struggled to his feet, leaning on his sword. He was now severely injured, his clothes tattered and charred, and his body trembled uncontrollably. Cough, cough. "The gap between our realms is too great. This fight was too much for me." Seeing this, the Thunder Devil mocked, "Haha, after 1,000 years, Old Man Qingming's successor is no stronger than an ant. You've lost. There's nothing you can do, Old Man Qingming. Today I will make this place disappear." As it spoke, it condensed a massive thunderball, preparing to smash it down. Just then, Bai Choran, as a streak of light, rushed toward the Thunder Devil's head at incredible speed. He then kicked the Thunder Devil right in its damn face so hard that its face was distorted and its tongue lolled out. Just like that, the Thunder Devil plummeted and crashed to the ground with a boom. The disciples, who had been wailing just moments before, were now all stunned, standing frozen for 5 seconds. Then they erupted in ecstatic cheers. "That monster was sent flying. Who is that? Who? Is there someone in the sect even stronger than the sect master? I don't know who it is, but go take it down. I guess I am suited for cultivation after all." Bai Choran then landed beside Zhu Yunzi. Seeing him, Zhu Yunzi immediately called out, "Ancestor Uncle?" At this moment, Bai Choran was looking at where the Thunder Devil had fallen. Through the billowing smoke, the Thunder Devil's roar could be heard. One of its cheeks was already swollen high. The Thunder Devil bellowed, "What bastard was that? Who dares to sneak attack me?" "The Thunder Devil venerate," Bai Choran replied without a trace of fear. "I am Bai Choran." He drew his sword and said, "Today, as the direct disciple of old ancestor Qingming, I'll play with you for a bit." Bai Choran. To the ancient Qingming sword sect, this was a most terrifying title. 3,000 years ago, demons and monsters ran rampant across the 9 provinces and 10 lands, and everyone lived in fear. A man calling himself Qingming with just a single wind sword slayed demons and exterminated devils, bringing peace back to the land. He was a genius sword immortal who had appeared out of nowhere, the founding ancestor of the Qingming sword sect, Taoist Qingming. Later he took in several disciples and founded the Qingming sword sect. Bai Choran was one of those disciples. Before Taoist Qingming found him, he was an orphan wandering battlefields, surviving by scavenging from the dead. At that time, Taoist Qingming saw Bai Choran and asked, "Young man, do you want to change your destiny?" "HMPH, who are you? I'm not giving you my steamed bun." Because he was born with a heavenly grade wood spiritual root, he was noticed by Taoist Qingming, taken up the mountain as a disciple and ranked 3rd among them. Bai Choran's talent was exceptional. He began cultivating at the age of 8, and by 12 he had broken through the limits of his mortal body, condensed a sense of qi, and broken through the body-refining bottleneck. At that time, the entire Qingming sword sect had just suffered a great catastrophe, and was in a state of rebuilding. The entire cultivation world placed high hopes on Bai Choran, believing he would become the second Taoist Qingming. And Bai Choran did not disappoint, continuing to work hard in silence. At the age of 17 he became the youngest record holder in the history of the cultivation world, officially the first cultivator to reach the 10th level of the qi refining stage. His master, Taoist King Ming, was ecstatic, even abandoning his closed-door cultivation for his own heavenly tribulation to personally refine a cauldron of supreme-grade foundation establishment pills for Bai Choran. At that time his senior sister handed the pills to Bai Choran and cheered, "Wow, junior brother, master refined these pills especially for you." Junior brother, master was so happy he specially refined these supreme-grade foundation establishment pills for you. Here, take them. After receiving the pills, Bai Choran immediately consumed one. With the foundation establishment pills from his master and the blessings of his fellow sect members and the Taoist seniors of the cultivation world, Bai Choran went into seclusion that very night to break through to the foundation establishment stage. He consumed the pill, sank his qi into his dantian and let his consciousness roam through the meridians and bones of his body. 3 days later Bai Choran pushed the door open and said, "Master." Everyone looked and immediately noticed. He didn't break through. Bai Choran had a bewildered look on his face. He had indeed broken through, but he had broken through to the 11th level of the qi refining stage. Taoist King Ming still tried to comfort Bai Choran. "Choran, don't worry, there are many extraordinary individuals in this world. It's not unheard of for people to have 15 or even 20 levels in the qi refining stage, but when they eventually break through, their futures are just as limitless. My good disciple, there's no need to worry. Just continue cultivating as usual." Hearing this, he replied, "Yes, master, I understand." Not long after, Bai Choran's master, Taoist King Ming, successfully passed his tribulation and ascended to immortality in broad daylight. 3,000 years flew by. Bai Choran's eldest senior brother took over as sect master but later failed his own tribulation and perished. Even his youngest junior sister successfully established her foundation and learned sword flight. Meanwhile, Bai Choran, the most talented disciple of his generation, had successfully cultivated to the 6,664th level of the qi refining stage. To this day, even a child he had brought back from down the mountain over 700 years ago had become a grand elder. While he was still relentlessly striving to successfully establish his foundation, returning to the present, Bai Choran, having just recounted his story, said, "I, Bai Choran, will face you today on behalf of Taoist King Ming." The Thunder Devil Venerate, after hearing his tale, couldn't help but snort with laughter. When it learned that Bai Choran was only at the qi refining stage, it burst into a loud, unrestrained laugh. "Ha ha ha, what are you even talking about? That's the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. A mere mortal at the qi refining stage dares to call himself Old Man King Ming's disciple? Scram, for the sake of amusing me I might just spare your life." Hearing this, Bai Choran thought, "You're finished," because the one thing Bai Choran hated most in his life was people bringing up his cultivation level. Bai Choran's face darkened and he frowned. "You have a problem with the qi refining stage?" The Thunder Devil Venerate grew enraged. It condensed a ball of lightning in its mouth, ready to fire, and retorted, "So what if I do?" A few seconds later, a terrifying beam of lightning shot out from the Thunder Devil Venerate's mouth, heading straight for Bai Choran. "It's the Dipper Lightning Breath," a few disciples yelled in panic. "Ancestor Uncle, dodge!" But Zhu Yunzi stood still, his eyes closed, a faint smile playing on his lips as if he already knew the outcome. Bai Choran remained where he was, standing in front of Zhu Yunzi. He raised his long sword high, then let out a low shout. Crimson flame, an intense scorching aura erupted from his body. He then swung his sword down and a terrifying wave of sword chi burst forth from the blade. Colliding directly with the Thunder Devil Venerate's lightning breath, Bai Choran's sword strike was unstoppable, instantly shattering the attack from the Thunder Devil Venerate, whose cultivation was comparable to a celestial immortal's. The terrifying sword chi then continued fiercely toward the Thunder Devil Venerate. The creature was frozen in place, thinking, "What the hell is going on?" The strike was too fast. The Thunder Devil Venerate had no time to react. It was sliced clean in two by Bai Choran's sword chi. Its enormous body collapsed thunderously to both sides, kicking up a cloud of dust. All the disciples who witnessed this were utterly stunned, unable to speak a word. With a single swing of Bai Choran's sword, the dark clouds in the sky were cleaved in two, and even the moon was left with a sword scar. It was like an illusion. The sword, unable to withstand such immense power, melted instantly. Bai Choran took out a new sword from his storage artifact, stood before the corpse of the Thunder Devil Venerate and said, "Don't underestimate a qi refining stage cultivator, you ant." Then Bai Choran sheathed his sword and narcissistically declared, "I am quite strong, you know." The scene shifted to the main peak of the King Ming sword sect. In the council hall, Zhu Yunzi said, "Thank you, Ancestor Uncle, for saving us this time." Zhu Yunzi continued speaking as he bandaged his wounds. "If it weren't for Ancestor Uncle's cultivation comparable to that of a Mahayana stage thunder beast, not only would the King Ming sword sect have faced a great calamity, but the surrounding common folk would have also faced a catastrophe." Bai Choran sat in the center of the main hall and said, "It's nothing. Master left behind his life's work. Now I am the only one of his disciples left. It is naturally my responsibility to protect the sect he founded." Zhu Yunzi immediately began to tally the losses. The Thunder Beast's surprise attack. Fortunately, no disciples were seriously injured this time, but we must rebuild the sect gate. Bi Yunzi, I'll leave the reconstruction of the sect gate to you. Please arrange for its restoration as soon as possible. Yes, Sect Master. Bi Yunzi was the third elder of the King Ming sword sect. As for the mountain guarding grand formation and guarding the sect gate, Qing Yun take a disciple to supervise this matter. As for the required funds, have Lu Yun assist you. The two responded in unison, "Yes, we will attend to it immediately." The woman with long straight black hair was the 7th elder, Qingyun Yuanjun, and the blonde woman beside her was the 6th elder, Liuyan Yuanjun. After receiving their orders, the two swiftly flew away. Now only Bai Choran, Zhu Yunzi and the other 3 elders remained in the council hall. Bai Choran kept glancing